I'm Simon Dewsbury, PGA staff professional here at Belmont Country Club, and we're continuing with our series on how to think your way around the golf course. We're going on to the back nine right now, so we're going to start with hole number 10. It's a really good introduction to the back nine as well. We've got a tough par 4 coming up with water on the left-hand side of the green. Really have to think about where we want to place our tee shot based on the pin location. Let's go. Here we are, hole 10, start of the back nine. It is a pretty straightforward par 4. There are no fairway bunkers that we have to contend with. The landing area is quite a wide slot left to right, but where that flag position is going to really determine which side of the fairway we want to be in so that we can approach the flag without really having to contend with the water and even think about it in our visuals and our shot selection going into the green. 453 off the back tees though, it does tend to play all that distance, even though it's pretty flat, if not just a touch downhill. But this is one of the lower ends of the property, so it does hold water quite well, so there's not a lot of run off the tee shot. 453 off the back, up to 321 off the forward tees. That's a big variance, but handicap relevant. It's one of the harder holes on the golf course. We've got to really make sure that we're aware of what we're doing and what we're capable of to play it successfully. Okay, here we go. Hole number 10. This is our entrance hole, if you like, into the golf course. We know it's the start of the back nine, but this is the hole that you actually drive down to actually approach the golf club. We've got the water fountains out in the water, so it looks really picturesque, but it does lull you into a little bit of a false sense of security. We've got the big water hazard that runs all the way down the length of the hole. We really do need to think about where we want to place the ball off the tee so that we've got a good approach shot. When the flag's on the left-hand side of the green, I would tend to want to gravitate my tee shot towards the right-hand side so that I can play down the side of the green and the edge of the water. Whereas when it's on the right-hand side, more towards where that bunker is, I would prefer to be on the left-hand side of the fairway, and then I'm playing away from the bunker, away from the water towards the bunker, because I would know what my yardages are based off my GPS or the Bushnell lasers. We're going to be able to know how far I've got to then the water, and that isn't actually in my mind. We talked about that on the third hole, where we're visually taking the water hazard away from us and just seeing that as a normal fairway shot. I'm not even then going to worry about having to carry the penalty area, carry the water. And our flag right now is positioned towards the front. It's in the middle of the green, so I'm going to gravitate more towards the left hand side or middle of the fairway. I don't want to fire too far towards the right. I'm actually going to aim it kind of halfway between the flag and the water fountain. Play it down the left half. Oh, there's the tee. Let's go. All right, moving forwards from the gold tees, we've got a little bit of a gap here between the golds and then the blues. Blue and white tees share the same area. There's a 20-yard difference really between the two of them. 424 from blue. The angle from gold down to blue and white doesn't change much, except for the fact that we can now see a little bit more of the fairway and where our landing zone is going to be. So it makes it a little bit easier in our mind to see where the ball is going rather than having to trust the swing. Now, again, if you're playing from back there, you should trust your ability to be able to position the ball. As we begin to move forwards, having the visual of seeing both edges of the fairway makes it a little bit more of a comforting tee shot, even though this is a tough par 4. Moving forwards again then, we've got the greens and then the reds a lot further up. So let's head up there and have a look at them. All right, as we approach the green tees now, this really does begin to kind of open up the viewpoints going into the fairway. We really see kind of everything. We can see all the undulations in the fairway. But again, as we're moving forwards, we're more realistic about what our golfing abilities are. It is a long par 4. If you're playing from here, the chances are you're gonna have at least 1, maybe 2 shots for your handicap allowance. So don't think of it as a par 4. Think of it as a par 5 or even a par 6 if you get 2 shots. So don't try to force yourself to hit a great tee shot. Get the ball in play, knock it closer to the green, then make your approach shot to the green so that you've got then 2 putts for a 5, which is going to be effectively your par, or even if you've got 2 shots, you're then putting for a birdie. But don't try to force yourself to play the miracle shot and knock it 20 yards further down to then try and attack the green. Use your handicap allowance to your advantage. All right, moving forwards, we're going to have a look at the red tees now. So this is our forward tee. Again, not labeling anybody, but by and large, ladies playing from here, juniors as well. 321 from here. It's a big wide open fairway. We can really see that it is about 45-50 yards wide here in our landing zones now, and then it bottlenecks up as we get closer to the green. So again, use your handicap allowance, play to your abilities, play to your strengths, get it into play, advance it towards the green, and then focus on where your approach shot needs to be to give you the best chance to make no more than 2 putts. All right, looking at the landing zones, particularly from this forward tee here, I'm just going to walk forward a little bit so we can see it with the camera. We've got about 80 yards out in front of us here. We've got a rise that falls away, so we've got a little bit of a speed slot there. It's a little more pronounced up the right-hand side. So if we can land there, it is going to push the ball forwards and give us that little bit of extra roll that we probably wouldn't get down the left half of the fairway, which tends to hold the water a little bit more. So a little softer down the left, a little firmer down the right. If we can hit that speed slot, it's going to push the ball forward another 20-30 yards, again, making our second shot as simple and easy as we can. All right, so this is the actual tee shot we played from the gold tees. It's where I wanted it to be. It's on the left-hand side. We're on a little bit of a downslope. The inclinometer we brought out just to highlight it shows that it's 3 degrees of a downslope. So again, looking at face angle, if I can get that to just stick on there. Looking at face angle, we're taking off a significant amount of loft, almost 1 club stronger in the loft angle. We've got, thanks to Bushnell, 183 to the flag. To me, that's a 6-iron in terms of distance on the flat. Now, that 6-iron is going to be de-lofted and go almost into a 5-iron loft. We're in a position, though, again, where using the conditions and the weather around us, we've got a little breeze into our face, so that's going to counteract. So if I was to use a 7-iron, which I think is this one, it's going to de-loft to a 6-iron, but that wind is going to counteract it and still hold the ball up and come up a little short. So the 6 iron de-lofted with the wind pushing into the ball is still the club of choice. Feel the shot out, being positioned on the left hand side, and where that flag is now, I'm gravitating away from that water again visually, and what we're looking at mentally, I don't really see that water hazard now. I'm looking at the flag and the right half of the green and actually picking out my target point beyond the green. The bunker behind it was a little bit of a peninsula on the back edge of the bunker. That is where my viewpoint is now. That's what I'm realistically looking at, and I'm firing the golf ball into that point there. If I either draw the ball in, or if I pull it a little bit, I'm pulling it or drawing it into the flag. But if I hit it straight, then I'm hitting it into a safe part of the green and giving myself no more than about 15 to 20 feet in terms of my putt anyway. So again, play smart golf, play to your strengths, but use the conditions to understand what you need to do with the club selection to get you where you want to be. Easy. Okay, if we miss on the left hand side again, we've got thicker rough. It's only 2 cuts wide, and then we're into really deep stuff. We're still 180, 190 away from the flag here at this point in time, and now we do have to consider what we've got to go over, which is that water. Can I get the ball up and get it to carry 190 to reach the green, as opposed to having it land short and release up to the green? Realistically, unless I've got something like a 9 iron or an 8 iron in my hands, I'm probably not going to take that shot on. I am going to now look at where are my bailout areas, where can I have my easy little chip shot or pitch shot to keep my score going. 40, 50 yards short of the green here on the right hand side, the fairway cuts out and it's quite wide there, but if I go 10, 15 yards short of the green, it bottlenecks in. So if I was in this position and I couldn't go at the flag or go at the green, I'd want to be leaving myself into that wide open neck. It's about 130, 140 yards. That's a more simple, easy shot. Pitching wedge 9 iron, get the ball out, get it into play, give myself an easy shot then going down the throat of the green without having to worry about any penalty areas to carry over with that approach shot then into the green. All right, we're on the right hand side. The information that I've gleaned is that this, by and large, in this section here, tends to be the area where people miss the most. Again, majority of right-handed golfers, when they hit bad shots, tend to slice the ball. But it's, as you can see down here, if I just stand there, my feet tend to disappear into the ground a little bit. So it's a really lush area. We've thrown one golf ball in there. You can see it's sitting up quite well, but if I just drop another one there, it kind of disappears. So we've lasered this off. It's 219 to the flag. From there, I would have a good chance at actually having a really good attacking position to actually go at the flag from this one here. The one that's sitting down deeper into the ground, would I be as confident taking on that shot going into the green where it's a narrow opening with that water on the left? Probably not. We've talked about this on hole number 4. Lay up to a distance you're comfortable with. 219 to the flag. Let's take 60 yards off that, 50, 60 yards off. Give myself an easy little pitch shot in. Could I advance that 150, 160 yards? Yes. So I'm going to be able to attack that one with an 8 iron or a 7 iron. It's a more lofted club. It's going to get the ball up out of the thick grass and get me into a position where I can hit my little pitch shot in, give myself a really good chance of getting up and down. without trying to get too aggressive with that shot. But again, with this one here, I could then attack the flag and the green a little bit more, going out from 220. Going to be a 4-iron, maybe a lofted hybrid, but again, play to your strengths, be smart. You've hit a bad shot, don't compound it by making more errors. A little short, but we'll take it. Okay, so we've played the shot with the hybrid, coming off the easier shot to play. But as we've just seen from the camera there now, that golf ball is pretty well buried. Could I even contemplate getting that hybrid into the ball and advancing it anywhere near the green? Probably not. I mean, I do not have forearms like Popeye. I'm not going to be able to drive that club head through all that thick grass and have enough speed to make that a viable option. I really would think now about playing it with a 7, maybe even an 8-iron. There's my 7-iron. It's a smaller profile underneath, so I can actually kind of slice into the ground a little bit more. It does feel like more of a chopping action. I've got to feel as though as I get here, I'm going to drive down and through, so a lot firmer with my hand pressure. It is going to restrict the follow through a little bit. It's going to restrict the contact and the total ball speed, so I will lose a little bit of distance. Push my weight into my front leg as well so that I can make it more of a steeper backswing and downswing and really drive down. Take your medicine, get yourself out. There you go. It's kicking a little left but running out a little bit. I couldn't even get it to 50 yards, but I've got to a point where I'm now close to 100, my second favorite layup distance. If you do end up knocking it into the penalty area, we've got to think about where we can or how we can drop the golf ball. Obviously, first option will be to go back and play from where we last played from. 180, 190 yards out. Do I want to take that shot on again? I don't know. Depending on where the golf ball has gone into the penalty area, we are now going to be limited. We're looking at 2 club lengths out, so we're not going to get back to the fairway unless I'm right here keeping the flag in between my entry point in. Yeah, even there, I'm going to be right on the edge of the fairway, but another 80 yards back, so 170, 180 yards for my approach shot in. So think about where you are. Here I've got 98 yards from this golf ball to the flag, so about 90 yards from where that red stake is to go into it. That, even though coming out of the rough may not be particularly appealing, I'm going to have a wedge in my hands. I'm going to prefer that shot over going in with a 6-iron. So take your medicine again, but be smart. Don't think, well, if I go all the way back there, it's in the fairway, I've got to have a better lie. You could end up with a really good lie from the drop, but a wedge into the green out of the rough is going to be preferable to a 6-iron or a 5-iron from the fairway. With this shot, like I said, we've lasered this off. It's 98 yards, so if I was in that rough on the right-hand side, make my layup shot to here and give myself my preferred distance. If I can't get to 50 yards, I'm going to leave myself 100 yards out. All right, 100 yards or 98 yards, a little into the breeze, so it's going to play a couple of yards longer than that. But with the wedge, I can go at this flag pretty well, be confident with this shot. Just carried a couple of yards further than I wanted to, but it's close enough now. I've got a really good chance of holding that putt and saving my par. All right, the other layup option here, 40-50 yards away from the green. Like I said, it opens out quite wide. We're just a little bit beyond the drain point, so as a reference when you do play the 10th, this is what we're now looking at. We're going straight up the throat of the green. No issues with penalty areas or hazards to worry about. We can now just focus on the distance we're trying to hit. We lasered this off, it's 44 yards. So let's just focus on that feeling for the shot we're trying to play to get next to the flag. Jumped off the face a little bit, but I got a good chance there of actually saving the par. At least my eyes work. Can still read them. We missed the green, we landed just on, but it kicked off to the right. So I'm a big proponent of chipping when we're off the green, but from this far away, there's not that much of a thick fringe to go through, so I will be putting this ball. Go through the normal routine, get your reads, have a look from the side just to confirm if you're going uphill or downhill. This is my most important viewpoint now, from behind the flag looking back to the hole. So I'm looking to see how the ball's going to be braking as it's slowing down as it approaches the hole. Last look from behind the ball just to confirm. Easy game. Okay, with the two shots where we had to just play from the rough, get the ball into play, and then pitch these balls onto the green. Again, there's the housekeeping work that needs to be done. Repair your pitch marks, and then clean the golf ball. Now, I'm only about 12 feet away, so not too difficult in terms of distances, but I am a little bit above the hole, so it's not the ideal position for the approach shot. You would ideally want to be just short of the hole and give yourself that uphill putt, but we accept that we don't play perfect golf. We have to play with the shots that are in front of us. Still going through the usual routine. Doesn't always go according to plan, but again, if we have to play from the rough, accept the medicine. I made the best of it, didn't make the par, but no worse than the bogey, and I can keep the score within a manageable level. Okay, so there we go. Good opportunity to get up and down. Make the most of it if you can, but again, minimize your damage, minimize the mistakes. I got lucky with this one that I made par. The other one obviously made bogey, so they were about as good or as bad as I could make it from having the error off the tee. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you've got any comments, leave them down below. Any suggestions for future videos as well, we'd really appreciate the input.